Hey there, welcome to the Legal Influence Podcast. My name is Kate Cooper, and if you're just joining for the first time today, I'm a Colorado attorney and an outdoor content creator, and I started the Legal Influence to provide accessible legal education and resources to other content creators so they can build thriving businesses and get paid what they're worth. In today's episode, we're going to talk all about giveaway collaborations and how to run a giveaway on Instagram legally. As always, I have to provide some quick disclaimers. Nothing that I share today should be considered personal legal advice. Everything is for informational and educational purposes only. While I am an attorney, I am not your attorney, and listening to this episode does not create an attorney-client relationship between you and I. So let's talk about giveaways on Instagram. Now, I'm personally a huge fan of giveaway collaborations. I think they're a win-win-win situation. The brand gets access to a new audience. The creator ideally should be getting paid, but you're also probably going to notice that your giveaway collaborations perform better than a typical sponsored post since the nature of the giveaway encourages engagement. You're also probably going to notice that you gain some followers from it, either from new people seeing the post in their feed or from being tagged in it by someone else. And then consumers also benefit from the giveaway in a way that they wouldn't otherwise benefit from a typical sponsored post. You know, if I see a creator working with a brand, I'm going to be happy for them, especially if it's clear that it's a really aligned partnership. I'm going to like their post. If it's someone I follow, I'm going to comment on it because I know how important engagement is on sponsored posts. But from a consumer perspective, it's just another ad. And that's not to say that I may not be influenced by that ad, especially if it's done well, but I'm probably not going to feel connected with it. But if there's a giveaway attached, now I'm invested. Now I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to the post. If it's a giveaway I want to enter, I'm going to take the time to do so. I'm going to actually follow the brand. And ultimately, I'm going to feel like I'm actually part of the conversation. It's a little less one-sided. And I've won Instagram giveaways in the past, so I know at the end of it, someone is going to quite literally win a prize. So I think giveaway collaborations are fabulous if they're done right. And that means making sure that the giveaway is actually run legally, which I'm going to talk more about today. But it also means making sure that you have the right partner, because brands often use giveaways as an opportunity to get in front of a new audience and gain followers. It's important that they're getting in front of the right audience. So as a creator, you need to know your audience and their demographics. And you can obviously get a lot of that information from your analytics, but also take some time to actually look at and try to get to know the people who are regularly engaging with your content, because they're probably going to be the ones who enter your giveaways immediately and get that engagement train rolling. So you want to know who those people are so you can highlight that information for brands who may want to reach that specific audience. So let me give you an example. I know that most of my followers are around my age, in that 25 to 34-year-old demographic. But when it comes to my local followers, people who live in Western Colorado, I've noticed that demographic skews a little bit older. I also know the types of activities that my followers enjoy. They like to hike, they like to camp. That's why they're following me. And odds are good that if you have a very specific niche as a creator, your audience will probably fall into that niche. For example, if you post a lot of parenting content, chances are you probably have a lot of parents in your audience, and they're probably going to be parents who have kids that are the same age as your kids, or maybe possibly a little younger. Now, obviously, not every person who follows you is going to be a parent, but the people who are most engaged probably are. So if you're partnered with a kids' toy company to do a giveaway, the people who are entering the giveaway and following the brand are going to be the brand's target customer. And as a creator, you obviously want to make sure that you're partnering with brands that your audience is going to love, because you want to maintain trust with them. And that means keeping them in mind when you choose who to partner with. That's also something to keep in mind whether you're doing a giveaway post or just a standard sponsored post. So now that we've talked about why giveaways are so great and why it's important to be mindful that your partnerships are aligned, let's dive into the legal side of giveaways. Because if you're going to run a giveaway, you want to make sure that you're doing it right. And that means making sure that you comply with laws around sweepstakes, along with Instagram's terms of service. So when you run an online giveaway, you're going to want to keep federal anti-gambling laws in the back of your mind. And right now I'm speaking about federal laws in the United States, There may very well be other laws in other countries that you need to be aware of. I can't really speak to a lot of those. So if you're a Canadian creator, for example, you're going to want to look into laws around sweepstakes and giveaways up there. And I can tell you from the research I did while preparing for this episode, I learned you can't actually run a sweepstakes or a giveaway in Canada. You can only run contests. So people have to actually do something in order to win, like answer certain questions in a trivia challenge or submit an art piece that gets selected. The selection of the winner can't be left purely up to chance, which is what happens with a traditional giveaway. You're choosing a random winner. So that's just one example of how sweepstakes and giveaway laws may vary in different countries. And if you're based in a different country, obviously look into the laws there. Right now, I'm talking to my US-based creators. And then when we get to Instagram's terms of service specifically, that's when I'm going to be talking to everyone. One of the big things you have to do to ensure that your giveaway is actually considered a giveaway or a sweepstakes is make sure that it is free for people to enter. And this is typically going to be the case when it comes to a giveaway on Instagram. But if you require some sort of payment in order to enter, then that giveaway may actually be considered a lottery. And that's something that is heavily regulated and is illegal for businesses to do in the United States. Because when someone has to pay to enter that lottery, they're now providing what's known as consideration. And when you have that consideration along with a prize and an element of chance, maybe you'll win, maybe you won't. That's when you have the recipe for a lottery. And so that's why if you hear a commercial for a contest that a brand is running, you'll typically hear them say no purchase necessary. So you may be automatically entered into that contest if you make a purchase, but they also provide an alternative way to enter the contest that doesn't require that purchase. So it's really important to make sure that your giveaway isn't actually a lottery in disguise. So in addition to federal laws, different states have different laws around giveaways and sweepstakes as well. For example, in some states, if the prize is over a certain dollar amount, then that sweepstakes needs to be registered with the state. There may also be special regulations if you're doing giveaways of certain types of products that you might want to look into. Different states may also require certain information to be disclosed, which I'm going to talk about next. But you want to make sure that you're double checking state laws in case there's something unique out there. And ideally, the brand is going to do that due diligence, but it never hurts to verify things for yourself. And when in doubt, you can always use language that says void where prohibited in case there's something out there that you're not aware of. That's a pretty standard CYA provision. So here are some of the best practices when it comes to hosting an Instagram giveaway. So number one, you want to make sure that the terms of your giveaway are clear. So typically with a giveaway collaboration on Instagram, the rules are going to be pretty straightforward. If someone wants to enter the giveaway, they have to follow the creator and the brand, and then usually they're required to tag someone in the comments. Now, it's worth noting that requiring someone to tag a friend in the comments to enter actually goes against Meta's monetization promotion guidelines for Facebook. However, that is not included in Instagram's promotion guidelines. So it does appear that you can still do that on Instagram. And of course, we've all seen giveaways like that. But I find that really interesting that they restrict that on Facebook. So I wanted to point it out. An alternative to the traditional tag a friend method could be to send people to a link in your bio where they have to actually fill out a form to enter. If that's what you're doing, you want to make sure that there's also a privacy policy that reflects what you're going to do with the information that you collect. So here is some information that you should include with your giveaway. And ideally, this is going to be information that you have in your caption, but if the brand you're working with has an extensive list of rules and it's just too much information for a caption, you can also reference the full terms and conditions and then make sure they're linked in your bio and easily accessible. So the information that you want to have includes what the winner is actually going to get, what is the prize for this giveaway, how many winners there are going to be. You also want to make sure that you disclose who is running the giveaway. So that's likely going to be you and the brand that you're working with. If there are multiple brands involved, make sure that's clear. But it's possible that some of your prizes that you're giving away are products from brands that aren't actually putting on the giveaway. And you want to make sure that that distinction is clear to people. Who is actually running the giveaway? You also want to make sure that you're complying with FTC regulations and making it clear that the post you make about the giveaway is promotional content. Next, you want to make sure that the rules of the giveaway are clear, and that's going to include any restrictions on who can enter the giveaway. So if there are certain age restrictions or geographic restrictions, for example, if you have to be 21 or older or based in the United States, that needs to be clearly stated. You also want to make sure that it's clear that there is no purchase necessary. You can put that language right into your caption. Next, you want to make sure that people know when the giveaway ends. So this includes the date and time, including the time zone. You also want to make sure that you disclose how and when the winner is going to be contacted and who will be contacting them. And this is something you should get clear with the brand on up front. Are you going to be choosing the winner and contacting them, or is the brand going to do that? And you want to make sure that people know this information because it's very common to see fake accounts and scams pop up during giveaways. So you want to make sure that your audience knows who will be reaching out if they win, so they're not giving personal information to scammers. You also want to make sure that people know when the winner will receive the prize. And then lastly, you want to make sure that you're sharing any other important information that people need to know. For example, if the winner has to pay for shipping, that should be disclosed. If you're collaborating with a hotel on a giveaway and there are blackout dates or restrictions on what the winner gets, like they get a specific type of room, that should be clear. Also, this goes without saying, but the winner should also actually get the prize. They shouldn't need to jump through additional hoops beyond what's been disclosed. But that also means that if the brand goes MIA for some reason, you are still on the hook and you need to pony up and provide the prize. Obviously, that shouldn't happen, but it's important to know that you're equally responsible when you host a giveaway. Now, you may also want to disclose the winner's tax obligations in the event that the prize is more than $600. If that's the case, the brand should be providing the winner with a 1099 miss. That's prize is unfortunately taxable income. Even if it's less than $600, it may still be considered taxable income. You just aren't required to provide a 1099. But in order to provide that document, the brand is going to need to have the winner's social security number. So it can be helpful to mention the tax obligations if it's a giveaway with a high ticket prize. Now, shifting gears and moving over to Instagram's requirements when it comes to hosting a giveaway. So you are required to include language that says that the giveaway is not sponsored, endorsed, or administered by Instagram in any way. And that language comes directly from Instagram's policy. You should include that language in your caption. You also have to have participants release Instagram, so that should be in there as well. That is required by Instagram's promotion guidelines, which are part of their terms of service in order for you to use their platform to host the giveaway. Anytime you're on a social media platform or an app or even on a website, you have to play by their rules. And if you don't, you run the risk of having your account deactivated. And to know what those rules are, you look at the terms of service, terms of use, terms and conditions, etc. That's also why it's really important to have your own website terms and conditions if you have a blog or a website, but that's a conversation for another day. Another rule that Instagram has is that you can't ask people to inaccurately tag content. So for example, you can't require people to tag themselves in posts that they're not in. I don't know how or why you would want to do that in the first place. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Meta has additional restrictions when it comes to giveaways on Facebook, which I find kind of interesting. But in addition to not being allowed to require people to tag a friend, you also can't restrict the giveaway to subscribers only. So if you have a subscription on Facebook that people are paying for, you can't host a giveaway only for those people. And that really goes back to that lottery issue, because in that situation, the subscription payment is the consideration being provided. And so even though that's not in Instagram's policy, I think that's a safe way of proceeding with a giveaway. So I know that was a lot of information, so let's go through a really quick recap of all of the best practices for an Instagram giveaway. So number one, make sure the rules are clear, including information about the prize, who can enter, how people can enter, and how and when the winner will be contacted and by whom. You need to disclose who is running the giveaway and when the giveaway ends. You also want to make sure that people know whether the winner is responsible for doing something to collect their prize. And of course, you want to make sure that you're playing by Instagram's rules. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Legal Influence Podcast. As a thank you, I have a free guide for you to download called the Creator Business Basics Checklist. So you can download that in the show notes. Inside, I break down 28 different business, finance, website, and social media best practices for creators to help make sure that you're running your business effectively and legally. If you enjoyed today's episode of the show, I would love for you to do me a favor and leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. That really helps the show. And if you know any influencers or content creators who would benefit from this episode, please send it on to them. Talk to you soon.